Are you ready to explore the world of graphic design but not sure how to begin? You are in the right place. Welcome to Hevlendordesigns, where I guide you through the essentials of graphic design using CorelDRAW, a professional tool that's perfect for both beginners and experienced creatives. In this tutorial, I will walk you through a clear step-by-step process to help you build skill and start designing with confidence. If you're new here, please feel free to subscribe for more in-depth tutorials. Leave a comment with your questions or feedbacks. Share this video with anyone looking to get into graphic design. Let's begin your creative journey one step at a time. When you launch your CorelDRAW, this is the screen you're going to see. All right, now this is a part 2 of this tutorial. In the first part, I dealt with the workspace, so I'm going to link that somewhere up here or down in the description, so you'll get to watch how to learn more about the workspace. So we're going to be dealing with getting started today. So when you load your CorelDRAW for the first time, okay, so this is what you have. You have this new document, the big plus sign where you have the new document. Then you can see the previous document that you have worked on before. Okay, when you scroll down, as many as you have them. So quickly, you just click on the plus sign, we create a new document. So this is our user interface of CorelDRAW. So we are going to be looking at this. This is all you have. All right. One more thing. So you don't, if your screen is not the color of your user interface is not the same with mine, don't be scared, don't be worried. Okay, I'll link in the description how you can customize your user interface. I've done that video down in the channel, so up here in the description I'll link it so you know how to change your user interface. So the first thing we see up here is where you have the CorelDRAW Untitled 2. Okay, and when you go down here you have these buttons. Okay, so those are the title bars. So let me quickly take us to, I'm actually preparing this tutorial. If you need it, just let me know in the comment section. Okay, so let's go to the application window straight ahead so we get going. Okay, so this is what, just to show you, this is what we're about to explain. Okay, just a quick run. Okay, we have the toolbox, we have the document tab, the title bar, the menu bar, the standard toolbar. Okay, see, all of this is what we're going to go through right now. So I might not follow this particular order. So the title toolbar, so let's just walk through the way it is here so you don't get lost. Okay, so now above here we have the title bar. Okay, this title bar where you have CorelDRAW Untitled 1. So by default the CorelDRAW files are named Untitled. Okay, so that's why you have Untitled 1. So you can see these other files, I have named them. All right, so they have their names. So at the far right here, you have the close button, you have the maximize and minimize. Okay, if you want to readjust your screen. Then the next bar we have in CorelDRAW where you have file to help is called the menu bar. This is the menu bar. Okay, so the menu bar has different menus. It contains menu of different commands. Okay, this is the new document, Control N, new from template, Control O to open from cloud. Okay, if you want to open your recent file that you have saved, this is close, and this is close all windows. So you can see I have different document tabs here. You have the save, you have the save as. Okay, and you have save to cloud, save to template. All right, acquire image. If you have an external scanner that you want to import, getting image into your document, you have import, you have the export, we have the export for, we have the export Docker, we have the this is the export to Bluetooth, several other devices. You have this print merge. Okay, I'll also link in the description or up here. I've done a tutorial on this print merge if you want to actually get to understand more about that. So I'm just walking you through, okay, so that we don't have this video to be so long. The same thing with the edit menu, okay, displays the standard tools, okay. Here you have a new document, you have open, you have save to cloud. So these are the standard things you use. All right. Then we have the property bar, which is this third one here. I think this document will help us better. Okay, let's work with this, but it's not the same number in what order. So if you follow in the order, so this is the toolbar. I'll use the green lines to be creating this highlight for you, so you can see, like I told you, that your user interface will be white. That's why you're seeing this capture. So this is the toolbox. Okay, so the toolbox contains all the tools that you need to work with. Okay, that is what we have here, where we have the pick tool. Then we also have the number 2, which is the document tab. This document tab, okay. For example, the document you're seeing here now, see we have welcome screen untitled. So these are different tabs. These are different tabs. They are still open in the same document. All right. Then the next thing we are going to look at is the title bar, number 3, which is the title bar. All right. So I said you can minimize. If I want to take this down, okay, and you can maximize. So if I want to adjust the size of my CorelDRAW window, okay, this is all about these other buttons here. So the next thing we are going to look at is here is let's look at number 4, which is the menu bar. I have showed you, okay. The menu bar has all these commands, okay. You have the view, okay, all right, insert, effect, bitmap, very interesting tools. Then very, very importantly, so you can see, here we have the property toolbar, okay. This property toolbar, the property toolbar, whenever you select a text, so let's go back to this blank document, okay. So whenever you select any object, this is our pick tool, okay. So now whenever you select, just keenly watch this. Now nothing is selected. This is our document, the page area, okay. This is the page area, this white path. Then this other part is the desktop, the working environment. Okay, so now look at this property toolbar properly. Now you can see only the page is active. So you're seeing where we have the page size. So it's showing you the properties of the page. So if I click this drop down arrow here, you can see we have different sizes of paper. Okay, so if you are in a conventional office, you should be used to the A4 paper. Okay, so we have the A0 to A6, and we have the B1 to B1, B4, different sizes of papers. If you scroll down, you'll see envelope, different, see other sizes that we have right here. Okay, so these are other sizes we have right here. Now you can see now that only the page, no tool is active, no tool is active, only the page is active. It's showing, we are seeing, so this is the dimension of the page, the height and the width. Then we have the orientation of the page, okay, whether your design is actually portrait or landscape. So you can see the icon here just showing you that. Then you have all pages and you have multiple pages. So now, for instance, if I want to insert another page, so we can do multiple page. Okay, so here is our document navigator. You have one of one. So if I click a plus sign again, so you have the second page. So you now have two of two, so you can go from one page to the other. Okay, so now if I uh, if I want to insert another page with a different size, if I want to insert another page with a different size, okay, I can actually, now with this current page that is active, you can see that when you are inserting another page, I can actually choose another size. So if I say, for instance, I want to insert an A5, okay, I've changed this setting and I do plus. So if I go back here now, I can change this to an A4, A5, and I come back here. This is page 2 is still A4, and page 3 now is A5. So that's the function of this. But if it was on all pages, okay, apply page size to all pages, so all the pages will be of the same size. If I'm inserting another page, it will be of the same size. It wouldn't affect that. Then here we have the unit of measurement. Okay, we have the inches, millimeter, pica, whatever unit of measurement you understand. All right, then we have the notch distance. Okay, notch distance is when I have an object and I want to move them gradually. So you can see if I increase the notch distance by say 5 millimeter, so see it's going to be moving by 5 millimeter. All right, so that's we're going to look into all these other ones in detail as we go to the other video. This is just a quick look at the user interface, the application window. So now, like I said, this is the document tab. Okay, so you can move from one tab to another, from one document to another. All right, you can move from one document to another. So let me close all the other ones. Okay, so that's the document tab. All right, the next we are going to look at is the ruler. So you can see the ruler here. We have the horizontal and the vertical one. They are calibrated. Okay, so let's come out of here so you easily understand. We have the horizontal and the vertical ruler. Okay, we have the scroll. Okay, the scroll bar, horizontal, and also the vertical one. You have the scroll arrows too, you can move. So assuming you're working and your page gets missing like this, so what do you do with your scroll bar or the arrows? You can get to read. There's also a shortcut when you press the function key F4 or use the zoom, so you zoom to page height. So now, like I said, see the property bar. When you pick any other tool, so the most important thing we are going to look at today is the tools. When you pick this first one here is called the pick tool. So it's used to select, position, or transform objects. So whether it is a text, whether it is shape, whatever. So now let's use the rectangle tool and create this square. Okay, so if I hold control, the rectangle tool is very important. You can create any tool. So all right, so now as I created this object, so with the pick tool, so now when I hover around this object, you can see the X. See this X here in the middle. So when you move to the center, you click, left click, hold, so you can move, you can reposition. So see what it says? It says that the pick tool, we can use the pick tool to select, position or transform an object. So another thing apart from left clicking and moving it, okay, so now these black dots, notice that when the object is not selected, you can see you are not seeing anything around it. When the object is selected, these black dots around it are called nodes. So the nodes indicate that an object is active. So for you to be able to move the object around, you can reposition or transform the object. So if I click again on the object when it is active, it activates the rotate gears. So you can see now you can skew to the right or to the left. You can as well rotate. Okay, so now another important thing you have to do, we have the color bar by the right here. Okay, this color bar, you can pick, left click on any color to choose to color your design. All right, then you also have the outline color. So notice that anytime you create an object by default, it has an outline, a black outline. So now below here you see the status bar. All right, so this status bar, you can see the status bar is telling us the status of the object that is selected. You can see it's saying a rectangle on layer 1, it has no fill and it has a black outline and the size of the outline. So if I want to change the color of the outline, you right click on the color, you right click on the color to change the color of the outline. All right, so when you do this, this is how you can change the color of the outline. So the next two, now one important thing I need you to take note of, if you look at all the tools in this toolbox, you will notice that there is an arrow below some of them, if not all of them. All right, so this arrow below these tools is taking us to other tools that are related. So this arrow is called flyout. It's called flyout. So flyout would show you group of related tools. So you have the pick tool, have the free pick. So we will take time to look at all these tools, and in other tutorials you'll see how all of them work one after the other. Okay, so now on this on the pick tool, okay, so when you click again, you can see you can rotate the object. You can as well create any nudge on the object. All right, so I'll delete this so we just have a clean thing. So the first thing we are going to do is the pick tool. So we have looked at the pick tool, we have seen how we can use it to position an object. Okay, so now I quickly look at the shape tool. The shape tool, okay, the shape tool, this is where the nodes become important. So now when you have a rectangle, so you will have a rectangle here. This rectangle is showing us that we have a node. So when you pick the shape tool, you can see you can use it to edit the nodes. Okay, so the shape tool, you can edit a curved object or a text character by manipulating the nodes. Okay, so with the shape tool you can be able to manipulate the nodes. You see on the property bar we have different kinds of corners we can use for a rectangle. Okay, so you can do this, or you change to this, or you change to this. All right, so another thing you can do when this object is with the shape tool, you can convert the rectangle to a curve. Okay, if you go to the object menu, you see convert to curve. The shortcut for that is Ctrl Q. Okay, so now with your shape tool, you can see now this is free. When you double click on the line, you can be able to add more nodes. See the properties of the node. Okay, you can select a line and convert it to a curve. Okay, see, you start editing and adjusting the node. All right, so this makes a lot of sense, right? Okay, so this is how the shape tool works. All right, so these are just the basic one. We have this merge, the nudge. We'll have other part 3 of this video where we'll look at these tools one after the other, and special tutorials and flyers on design that will look into these tools. Okay, so the next important tool we have to look at here is the crop tool. Okay, so let's import a picture. I click on the import. Let me get a picture in, so I'll show you how the crop tool works. Um, a quick one. Let's go to my download. I will just get one picture in. All right, so click on import, click and drag. So you see how I got an image into this space. So with the crop tool, if I want to take off part of this image, I just click and drag. So you see this icon is showing you to crop or to clear. So if you click crop, now one thing about the crop tool, when you crop, you cannot recover any of those parts except for the minute you just did it, you can undo. All right, so that's how the crop tool functions. You remove areas outside a selection. Okay, so that's how the crop tool works. Then we have the zoom tool. This is very essential. Okay, now if I want to see more details in this image, you can just left click and drag, so you can zoom in. All right, so you see, so when you want to zoom out, you right click to zoom out. All right, so when you pick the zoom tool, you're seeing the properties of the zoom tool. So you can see, you can zoom to page, you can zoom to page height, you can zoom to page width. Okay, so that is for the zoom tool. So we have the freehand tool, so you can draw curves and straight line segments with this freehand tool. Okay, how do you do that? You click and drag. If you want to draw a straight line, you just click on one end. Okay, so you can move. If you want it to be a straight line, you can hold your control key, left click on the other end you have. So if you want, it's called a freehand tool. If you want to make a freehand drawing, okay, see, that is it. Now note that all the colors that we've selected so far from the color palette is coming down here. So this is our document color. So you don't have to be looking out for the colors you have used in a document before. Okay, like I see the status bar, as I've selected this shape, now you can see it's showing me the status of the shape. It says a curve that is on a layer. Okay, if I change the outline, so you see the outline color has been changed. So that's how that works. So the next thing we are going to look at is this is the paintbrush. Okay, the paintbrush helps us to apply pixel based brush with a paint or dry medium. Okay, so now you can see the different brushes we have here. See, so when you have an object selected already, you can actually you can use this effects on your design if you choose to. Okay, I'll also do very special designs for that. So now the next one is the rectangle tool. You use the rectangle tool to draw square and rectangle by dragging in the drawing window. Okay, so this is our drawing window. This other dark area, while the white part is the page. Okay, so let's take this out. So now a quick one, if you just want to get exactly the size of your page, you can double click on the rectangle tool. Okay, so you can see the nodes are active, showing you that an object has been created exactly the same size of the page. All right, so now this is what we have. If you want to, you can now give it a color. Pick a color here. Okay, now you can resize this. Okay, so the same way you can drag in your window. If you want to draw a rectangle, you left click and drag. So we have a rectangle. If you want a square, you can hold down the control key, make all sides to be equal. Okay, this is very important when you're going to be designing your flyers or whatever design you want to be. Very important tool. Then we have the ellipse tool. Ellipse tool, you can draw circle and ellipse by dragging on the drawing window. So you select the tool. Okay, so you can click and drag. So you can make an oval. You can hold control to make a perfect circle. Okay, so we also have the polygon tool. The polygon tool, you can draw polygons by clicking and dragging. Okay, click and drag. So you see now on the property bar, you can see we have point of sides. So you know the polygons that have 8 sides: polygon, hexagon, hexagon, octagon, how many sides they have. Okay, so you can increase number of sides you want here. All right, so let me take off some of this. Let me delete some of this so we have interesting space to deal with. All right, note that whatever you have in your drawing window outside your page, when it is being printed, it's not going to be printed. When you want to print anything that is outside the drawing window, that is outside your page, is not going to be printed out. Okay, so you take note of that. The drawing window is just like your desktop. On your table area, you can place things on it. So when you have need for them, you can lay your hands on them to work with. All right, so this is it. We are looking at the polygon tool. So let's see how these two work together. So with the polygon tool, I can use the shape tool to edit these nodes. So you can see things like this. I can dial this up to have more of them. Okay, give you the red circle, this badge. I guess you see things like this in certificates or a seal. Okay, so now you can see I just removed the outline color. So when you right click to get on the color to give the outline color, if you don't need that color, you have to also, on this diagonal line up here, you can right click to take off the outline when you don't need it. Okay, so with this tool, you can create several shapes. So the next thing we are going to look at is the text tool. You can add text, add and edit paragraph and artistic text. Okay, so paragraph and artistic text. Okay, so how do you put in an artistic text? You just pick the tool, the text tool, and left click anywhere on your drawing window. You can see the cursor is blinking, then you can start typing. So if we type in say Hevlendordesigns, okay, so we have an artistic text. So you can see now, you can, if you want to increase the text, or scale, what we call scale, you use the nodes by the corner. Very, very important. If not, if you use the one by the side, you're going to distort the image. Look at this. Okay, that's not the right way to scale an object. So I just did Control Z, okay, on my keyboard, or you can see the standard toolbar here. If you click on undo, you see it's going back, redo, getting back what we have before. So now that we have a text that is active, an artistic text, you can see we also have the properties of the text, where we have the font, what we call font. So you can choose any typeface you want. Okay, so the features of an artistic text, when you want to change or edit the color, you can actually double click on it and press the enter key to create a second line. Okay, you can break this text apart if you want to say you don't want them to be together, you want them to stand apart. Okay, you can use Ctrl K or go to the object menu. Okay, you see break Hevlendor design apart. So if I click that, see now there are two different texts now. Okay, so I can apply color on them. Okay, you can as well scale. While you're scaling manually, you can see the if you have a specific font size you want to use, so you can actually enter them here. So if I want it to be, say, 10 points, I can just dial in 10 points here, enter on my keyboard. So you see that's 10 points. But if I want to manually do that, I can just scale or increase from here. Remember, I said it's not nice to scale from the corners or from here, because it's going to distort the image. All right, so now the artistic text, you can apply shadow on it. So let's quickly just look at some of the effects. Okay, you can apply shadow on it. So to apply shadow, you just, the object is selected, you click and drag. Now if I apply an outline, okay, so you can see, I'll go to the zoom tool now, click and drag. See, I've zoomed in, so you can see our shadow. Now when the shadow is active, you see this gear, you can use it to increase the size of the flare, or you reduce it. So that's the same thing that is happening here. So you see, this is the, okay, and this is the size of the feather. Want it to be very soft, subtle, depending on what you want. Okay, so I want this to be, if I want it to be very blunt, okay, but that will not be a realistic way a shadow should look. That's why you have the feathering. Okay, see how it becomes soft. So if you want the opacity of the shadow, how dark, okay, you want it to be, you can dial that up, or you use this gear here, move around to get this done with. So now let's press a function key F12 on our keyboard. I want to increase the size of this, the thickness of the outline, the point size. Okay, let me do 1.5. I like filling it behind and scaling with objects. So when you say scale with objects, when you're increasing the 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 size of the object, the outline is also increasing. See, but if that is not up, let's go back there. Assuming that is not up, if I uncheck scale with object, so whatever the size of the outline is, when I'm scaling down, you can see still the same size, is not changing. All right, so depending on what you want, I usually prefer, sometimes if you don't want to press the function key, you can just double click here. We'll call up this dialog for you to make any adjustments on your outline. All right, so we'll be looking into detail with all of this. So that's the shadow. So I said the artistic text, you can apply shadow on it. You can as well apply extrude. Okay, we have this contour. Okay, so now you just click and drag on the object. See, the color is white, that's why you're not noticing it. So let's use another color. Okay, so I would also link in the description or up here. I have another tutorial that I've done for contour. You can see how nicely that can actually make your design look when you use the contour tool to make a design. Okay, then you can as well on artistic text, you can also apply what is called extrude. Okay, see the extrude when the text is selected, so you just click and drag. Wonderful. See that 3D dimension effect. So that's the extrude. Okay, you can decide how long that would be or how short. There are other options. So you see the property bar. Property bar has different angles, so you can actually do this. Okay, you can as well do that manually by yourself. So I'll also link in the description or up here to show you different ways. I have a tutorial on how to use the extrude tool, so you also get to watch that. All right, so that is for the artistic text tool. So you don't forget, I said that when you pick the text tool, how do you activate the artistic text tool? You just left click and you begin to type. All right, so that's how you activate. So this is how to use the artistic text tool. All right, so if you want, while you're typing, you can press enter to go to your second line and get so many other lines. Okay, line of text, and when you're done, you can position, choose a font type, choose a font size. Okay, you can as well decide what can underline. So depending on the font, now this Arial black does not have the bold. See the properties, does not have the bold and italicized because the font is already very bold. So if I choose some other font, so you see, you can make this bold, you can italicize it, you can underline. Okay, so this is the artistic text tool. So for the paragraph text, okay, so you say you can use the text tool to do artistic text and paragraph text. So we have looked at the paragraph text. So let's look at we have looked at the artistic text too, sorry. So let's look at the paragraph text tool. So when you pick the text tool, now if you want to activate the paragraph text tool, you click and drag. So while you're clicking and drag, you see the matching ant. When you drop that, you see that frame, the text frame, and you're seeing your cursor blinking inside. All right, so you can now type. So one of the features or interesting thing about the paragraph text tool, what you can do with it is that so I don't have to, let me quickly show you this. So since we are on the text tool, so let's go to the text menu. All right, so you see the paragraph text frame. So we need to insert a placeholder. Right, so this is Lauren Ibsen. Okay, so this is how to use the paragraph text tool. I just did this so I don't have to start thinking of what to type. So when you want to, assuming you are making a mock-up design, you don't have content or things you want to use, you can actually use this way to generate the lorem ipsum text. Okay, I hope this is making sense to you. I hope you're following. Whatever you don't understand, just drop a question, drop your questions in the comment section below. Like this video, share it. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. All right, if you don't subscribe, just say subscribe. If you don't subscribe, well, I don't know what to say to you. All right, so the lorem ipsum, so we are looking at the paragraph text. So this is the paragraph text. Okay, for when you want to format a book. Now notice something. Let's look at some unique things that happen to the paragraph text. Notice that you see everything is showing. Now when I close this up, so whenever you see this, you see the matching ant has changed to red. What that means is that some texts are hidden. So if you click and drag, you can open to see what is hidden. All right. Another way, if this is actually what the place you want this, the size, this is the area you want this information on the cover, you can right click on this and fit text to frame. See what will happen. It will now reduce all the information into that size. Okay, so let me not bug you with a whole lot of this. So one other important thing you can do with the paragraph text, you can add for magazines, you can add a drop cap. Okay, so if you go to the text menu, you can see you have a drop cap. Okay, so you see the drop cap dialog box comes up, say use drop cap. So you can decide how many letters you want that to drop to. So by default is on 3. So if you want it to be 2, want it to be 4, so these are drop cap. Okay, when you choose the number of letters, the spacing you want, okay, you can now click OK, and this is our drop cap. All right, so another thing you can do for a paragraph text is that you can also add bullet points and numbers. Okay, when you select the part, highlight, okay, click and drag to select a portion. So when you go to the text menu, you also have bullets. Okay, take the list of bullets, so you can decide whether you want to use any shape you want to use. You can select any kind of shape you want to use from here. So you can see there are quite a number of them. So let me say I want to use this. All right, I click OK. So you see that. So if I have another column, see that that's how you can have excuse me, let me make more of that. So I look for where I have the full stop, just like I want to have bullets. Okay, so you can see, so you can have bulleted lists like this. Okay, you can also have numbers. So let me increase this. And another thing you can do here before we put the numbers is column. So we can go to the text menu, click on columns. So we decide how many columns we want this thing to be. See, by default, the sizes of the gutter, you can adjust this thing. Okay, with your shape tool, your text tool active, you can click and drag to increase or reduce the size of the gutter. Okay, let me open this up a little bit more. Okay, so why I'm doing this is because I want to, okay, we can still use these bullets. We can change these bullets to numbers. So if I just select them, highlight them, go to the text menu, and say number and bullet, they are still the same place. So If I change this to number, you can choose a number style. If you want to use Roman numerals or A, B, C, D, whatever you want to use. Okay, let's do 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you can see that. You can as well see the color. All right. So another thing you can do for a magazine page, we have this. You can wrap text for a paragraph text. Okay. So you see, assuming I have a picture I want to insert, just select the circle so I can place it in between. So now see, so this is because it's only one-sided. So if I want both sides, so you can see if it's a magazine or a newspaper you are designing, you can make do with this on a paragraph text. Okay, I hope this is making sense. Yes, so if it's making sense, just type in the comment section right now. It's making sense. Okay, all right, so that's the paragraph text. All right, so in other tutorials, as we go along, you will see how effective this paragraph text can be used. I think I've done I have a video on the book formatting. Okay, so you can see how this is used, but I'm still going to do more. So if you want me to do a special video for this paragraph text and the artistic text, just let me know in the comment section. All right, so the next two, this is the parallel dimension. Okay, parallel dimension. So if I want to get the dimension of this, so you see, it gives me this. This will work very well for those that are doing architectural drawing or engineering drawing. Okay, so you can see you have the dimension already. It just gives you that for any of the sketches, graphs. All right, then you have the contour. Okay, I don't use this contour often, so I can't really tell you what it does. Okay, so if you have used it, just let me know. Now this is a very interesting tool, so let's look at this one, the transparency tool. Okay, partial reveal image area underneath the object. All right, so the transparency tool, so I can make use of this object. So let me move it to the next page. Let's come to the page 2. Okay, so when you pick the transparency tool, now if let me double click, I have a rectangle. I'll give the rectangle a green color. Okay, and let me scale this up a little bit. So now the transparency tool will let you see through. So if I scale this down, so you can see I'm seeing the background color. If I take it up, I cannot see. All right, so if I want only one angle, I can do this. You see, I can as well also do this. So if I want to do, note that if you want to do this for, I've explained this in some of my flyer designs. All right, if you want to do this in multiple places in the same image, you have to JPEG the first one. So if I click on this JPEG, okay, I use my RGB, then you can apply the second part. If not, when you want to apply the second part, it's going to go off. Okay, so you have the transparency tool. Now when you pick the transparency tool, on the property bar you can see you have uniform transparency, which is the first one I showed you. Okay, you have the normal uniform transparency. If you increase the number, so you see that's uniform transparency. So you have the the fountain transparency tool. I use this a lot when I want to design. So when I select fountain, so you have the linear fountain, you have the uh, elliptical fountain. Okay, elliptical fountain, we just take all the side. You see how this just blends in. Okay, so now I use this quite a lot when I'm designing my flyers. Okay, so you see the merge modes. I also link a video on the merge modes. It's also somewhere in the channel, so you can get to do that. So you can see, you can add, okay, you can subtract, all right, multiple. So whatever you want to do. So that's the transparency tool, all right. And I can clear this. I can clear this. If I don't want it, I can just clear it, come back to normal. So you see, if dark, I'm taking it back to normal. All right. So that is the transparency tool. All right. Now, one more tool before we round this up for today. Let's look at this one, the eyedropper tool. The eyedropper tool, sample color and apply them to objects. All right. So now, if I want to design with this image, okay, that we have here, and I want to use this shade of color that is on this image, with the eyedropper tool, you can pick, see, it's sampling. If you move it around, so if you just click, now it's showing you this bucket. What that means, if you see the property bar, you see it has changed. If I click now, because I have the object, that's how the sampling, the eyedropper. So if I click on the flyout, you can see this. You have the attribute one. Okay, I'll do a special video on the attribute one, so this don't get longer than expected. All right, so that's the eyedropper tool. You can use it to pick color from an image. Then last but not the least here is the interactive fill tool. Okay, see the interactive fill tool. Sorry, that is applied wrongly. Okay, so let's use a smaller rectangle. Okay, so if you click on the interactive fill tool, so you can see on the property bar, it has the uniform fill. That's one color. Okay, so you can choose any other color. Then it has the second one, which is the fountain fill. All right, so this fountain fill here, you can select multiple colors. You can as well move this gear. Okay, if you double click, you can add another color if you so desire. That's if you have a background that you're working on. All right, you can add multiple colors. You can change them at will. So the same way we did for the transparency tool, so you can see, you can change this. Okay, this is linear. So we have some other, we have this is the linear fountain. So we have the elliptical. Okay, so you can adjust this. So you have the conical and have the rectangle. So depending on what you're working on, this can actually be very handy to help you do your design. All right. Now, the last but not the least tool, this tool, if you're using an earlier version of CorelDRAW, you will not be able to see them, because this is actually a new tool for 2024. So variable outline, can apply outline or variable width to an object. Okay, let me quickly show you how that works. I'll use the freehand tool to make a line. Okay, that's the easiest part. So you can see, click and drag, you can see what that is doing. All right, so you can see we have this very nice object. The same thing, you can choose anywhere on the, see, if you still want to increase this part, makes it easy for you to draw. Assuming we want to make a funnel, see how that is, see how easy that is to make a funnel. If I don't want this place to be so sharp, I can as well decide that here is not going to be so sharp. Okay, see that, see that, just from a line. And this is absolutely wonderful tool that we have there. All right, then we have something very interesting I need to show you, which are the dockers. So the dockers also shows property of an object. So you can see now when you click here, so you see you have different, so many of them to use from. All right, okay, so this is so far so good where we've gotten to. All right, so now this is still a line. Okay, let me just quickly do this. This is still a line. So if I can convert it to an object or convert it to curve. Okay, if you click Ctrl Q or you right click, you can convert this to, go to the object menu, convert to curve. So you can see now it's no longer a line. You can rotate this. Okay, so if you have any question, drop it in the comment section below. This is where I'm going to call it a day for this section, and we are going to be looking further into more design. So if you have any question, drop it in the comment section below. Okay, I'm also preparing this course. If you are interested in the CorelDRAW course, want to have this document in detail, I'll also be coming up with these terminologies for uh, video. So watch out for this in our next video sometime soon. And this tutorial is going to be bomb and comprehensive, but this is just a crash, just to take you through, show you the tools and whatnot to use. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it, like and share for other upcoming designer who wants to use CorelDRAW to just get themselves acquainted with the tools. I'm also going to, from time to time, take each of these tools and dissect them. I don't just want this particular video to be longer than it is. Okay, so if you have any question, drop it in the comment section below. You have something that you want us to, a particular lesson you want me to take on, I will gladly do that for you. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. I hope this tutorial gave you a solid foundation to start designing confidently with CorelDRAW. But before you leave, like this video if you find it helpful, leave a comment with your question or a topic you would like me to cover in future tutorial. Subscribe to this channel for more practical, easy to follow design lessons. If you still need access to CorelDRAW, leave me a DM either on my Facebook or my Instagram, and I'll be happy to guide you on how you can get your CorelDRAW installed, downloaded and installed, so that you can start practicing your design. So keep practicing, keep learning. I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.